Alright, welcome to the third video in our Renderman Basics series. In this tutorial video, we're going to talk about the different light types that you have with Renderman. I've gone ahead and kept our torus from last time, still colored yellow. And let's go ahead and start looking at our different options up here, because a lot of these lights are a lot of fun, and you have a lot of different ways of playing around with them and incorporating them into your scene. So let's go with the first one here. This is going to be our rectangle light. Demonstrated in the last video. You can see which direction the light is going to be pointed by the arrow. So I'm just going to reposition it here and turn on the interactive preview. Now if you look over here on the right in your attribute editor under the light settings, there's really only a couple of things that you would probably ever mess with over here. One of them is going to be intensity, which is the wattage of the light. So think about, a light bulb in your house is 80 watts or 75 watts or lumens. So you can change this to be a higher number. The thing you really want to be careful about, though, is that with Maya numbers, things grow exponentially, which means that if I change that to a 2 from a 1, then I've just increased it 100%. If I increase it to 3, that's 200% beyond number 1. So things can get really insane really fast. So let's look at a 2, and then a 3, and then you can see how much we're jumping up with it. Don't be tempted to do like a 50, because that's way too much. So I'm going to take that down to maybe a 10. The exposure is going to be something that you're probably going to want to leave at a 1 or a 0. You're not going to want to take this any higher than a 1, because 1 is a good complement. It is like a white point of light. You don't want to change that above 1. You can obviously change the color if you'd like to, and this kind of applies to any of the lights that we're going to talk about, so I'll cover it here. You do have the option to put in patterns underneath the color map. If you click on the folder, you can go find different textures to project from the light. You can even do temperature. So if I turned on temperature and I go back to white, I could do a temperature. So if I did something that's lower, that light's going to be warmer. If I did something higher, then that light's going to be colder. And normally it would be a blue, but since it's mixing with the yellow, you can see what color we're getting. So enabling temperature can be fun if you have a specific look that you're going for a scene, whether it is a heat lamp or Antarctica. Okay. All right, I'm going to get rid of this light. Next light, let's look at a disk light. Same thing, it's just in the form of a disk. The cool thing that I haven't shown you yet, and that is probably the most exciting advancement with Renderman lighting, or lighting in general, is that in the past, with Arnold lights, it didn't matter how big you scaled it, it was just kind of a reference point. Well, with Maya, or with Renderman, rather, if you scale the light, it grows in intensity. And the intensity value is still a 1 over here, but it's obviously brighter. So you can just play with the scale if you want to, and not even mess with things over here. The next light we're going to look at is the distant light. This light is going to be like sunlight. It's going to travel in one direction with parallel rays. The only thing you can really do with this one is just change the rotation of it. You do have your options over here. That is quite a high intensity because it's supposed to be the sun. Again, you can change anything you want to with temperature or angle. Again, I wouldn't take exposure above 1 because that's already a really bright light. Even a 1 looks insane. But that is like direct sunlight. Okay, next one on our list is going to be the sphere light. Again, it's a sphere. It emits light. You can see that it does in all directions, but primarily going that way. So it's very useful if you want to put it inside of a lampshade, like a bulb. Next one in this group is a cylinder light. Same thing, just in the shape of a cylinder. Next one is a Pixar dome light, which is going to bomb the scene out. Pixar dome lights are not primarily used for this. It's never meant to be just a white, like you're in limbo or in some ethereal plane kind of look. What you really do is you come in and you assign something to a dome light that is an HDRI image. So to do that, what you would do is you would find an HDRI image online, come into the color map setting, and then I'm going to go find my HDR image, noon grass, click open, and then I'm going to, oh, look how fast that did. So now it's taking the HDRI image and it's using the light from the image to make the light in the scene. And HDRI Haven is a great website to get free HDRI images. This is a tremendous asset to have with the dome light, and this is its primary usage, not what you just saw. So plug in an HDRI image here and you're good to go. Next one we'll look at is going to be a environment daylight. We're going to skip portal light for now. The environment daylight is tremendously fun because you can come over here and plug in any day of the week you want to from the past. So let's do my birthday,